doing, folks, and welcome to this week's edition of the Outdoors Bound podcast. I'm George Noleff. Thanks for being with us. While fishing never really quits around here, as the weather gets warmer, a lot more folks are going to head for the water. Maybe the most popular place is Smith Mountain Lake, and a guy who knows that body of water pretty well is Captain's Quarters owner Dwayne Lamb. I talked to him a few days ago. Talk to me a bit about early season fishing here on Smith Mountain Lake. You think it's going to be an early season?
I do. I think the water temperature is going to warm up quicker than normal. I think the fish are going to pull up shallow. We're not going to look at any kind of a shad die-off with the water temperatures at the 47, 48 degree range. Normally it takes about 42 for those shad to die off, and I don't think we're going to get that. I think we're going to have plenty of shad in the lake this year, and an early spring and an early bed season for the bass.
We got quite a diverse fishery here. I mean, you can come out here and catch 4, 5, 6 game species in a day.
Yeah, the three main one is crappie, striper, and largemouth, and that's the three mainstays here. And it's always a big time in the springtime. March, April, May is 3 big months for those 3 species, and we're looking forward to it.
And you carry a whole line of tackle and live bait.
We do everything for the stripers, the bass, and the crappie, and anything from live bait to artificial to umbrella rigs, whatever you need.
You've been here a long time, more than 2 decades. This is a great fishing lake.
It is. We've lost a little bit of size on our stripers. We've got good numbers of stripers, but we've lost a little bit of size on that. But our largemouth fishery is unreal. We've introduced the F1 here to the Smith Mountain Lake, and that's really been a big help, and hopefully see double-digit poundage fish this coming spring.
I know you and I talked before, and you saw them like in the 7 to 8 pound range, and last year the 9 pound range. You're looking for 10, 11 pound fish this year?
We're going to break double digits this year. No ifs, ands, buts about it. With all the shad we got in the lake, we got a good number of threadfin, alewies, gizzard shad, just an abundance of shad. So I think that's going to help the growth of the largemouth. Of course, Dwayne was talking about those F1s. Now, F1s are a cross between a Florida strain largemouth and a northern largemouth, and they are genetically predisposed to getting big. The day I was in Dwayne's shop, I was fortunate enough to have SML Bass Guide Chad Green of Last Cast Guide Service walk in, so I just had to pick his brain. Chad, talk to me a bit about, in general, I mean, it's the thumbnail of the bass fishery here on Smith Mountain Lake.
The bass fishery on Smith Mountain Lake is flourishing. A lot of the big females are making their move for the spring. They started that transition about a week or so ago. We had some warm temperatures come in, and time of year, I mean, they kind of know, regardless of water temperature, they make their move regardless. Water temperatures are ranging anywhere from 45 to 48 degrees depending on where you're at in the lake. There's bait fish in all depths of water. The bass can be kept anywhere from 3 foot of water to 30 foot of water right now, because you've got different transitions for every fish, and not all of them move at the same time. So seen a lot of fish over 6 pounds here lately. I expect to see the 7 and 8 pounders to start showing up here. If they're not here this week, you're going to start seeing them this next week.
As those big females move up, I mean, they're still looking to feed pretty heavily right now.
They are, and it's going to be weather dependent. You get a bluebird sky day and there's no wind and it's 70 degrees or 60, your chances of catching that big fish like that are typically a little bit tougher. You want those frontal conditions like west winds, northwest winds, windy days, kind of cooler out. That's your best opportunity to catch a trophy fish for sure.
What's your technique? Or you have a variety of techniques I'm sure you use, but what might be your go-to this time of year?
This time of year is going to be mainly shad imitations, because they're going to be focused around bait fish, jerk baits, anywhere from 6 to 10 foot deep. You want it above the fish because they're going to be, some of them are going to be on the bottom. Shad imitations, Alabama rigs, your smaller swim baits can be a player in that. Crankbaits, crawfish colored crankbaits can also be another one, because 80% of the bass's diet, it can be crayfish, so that's another good choice as well.
Thanks, Chad. Smith Mountain Lake's also a prime striped bass fishery.
Whoa! That's a big old fish!
So I headed down lake to Magnum Point Marina to talk to striper guide Captain Johnny Mathena of Patriot Fishing Charters.
Yeah, it's a good time of year. They're feeding heavy. getting ready for the spawn season, so they're putting some weight on.
But pretty soon they're going to be moving upstream, up the lake.
They will be. There's fish up the lake now. The jig bite's been really good, and live bait fishing picking up.
But you do a lot of trolling, and that's still going to be an effective method of going after them.
Always. I troll all year long. It's an effective method. You change the bait size, depending on the year and the depth, what you're fishing, but typically we troll year round.
And these fish are feeding on shad, threadfin, a variety of different blueback. That's
Blueback. And when I say trolling, it's a slow troll. This is no fast troll. This is a mile an hour pulling live bait.
And those fish will come. I mean, you're fishing real close to the surface too, right?
Close to the surface and close to the bank. Sure enough.
What else should someone know about coming down here if they want to come down here and give this a shot?
You need to make sure first that when you get here, you know where you're going to go and what the water's like. Like right now we have we're pretty muddy and trashy up in the rivers, so you may want to stick to the main part of the lake this time of year. But when you come down, just kind of reach out to one of the many different Facebook boards or groups and just ask some questions. Most people are pretty nice on there, and they'll say, yeah, maybe try here, try there. Or you could book a trip with a charter. And that'd be the easiest thing.
That's what I was going to say. You may as well pay for the information because you always have that knowledge.
I get a lot of people that'll come down for a week. They'll book me for one day or another charter boat and then kind of get the feel of it, and then they go out on their own.
Thanks, Johnny. Another prime late winter, early spring fishery is happening right now on the Stanton, the Shenandoah, and the New rivers. We're talking about walleye. I had a chance to fish the New last weekend. It did not disappoint. Late winter on the New River. And the walleye are on the run.
What you got there, Chase?
Nice male walleye. Here within the next 2 to 4 weeks, this is going to be the time to be hitting this stretch of the river. These fish, they have came up out of Clater Lake, probably 16-inch fish.
The New below Foster Falls is a special place. It's beautiful. And in the late winter, February and March, it attracts one of the most delicious and prettiest fishes, all gold and green and blue, that swims in Virginia. Guide Chase Bowman of New River Charters makes his living at this time of year trying to catch these beautiful, delicious creatures.
That is a pretty fish. Look at the gold color on that, man. That is awesome.
This is historically, this is their spawning ground right here. Year after year, they're going to make this run to this location. They're known as, one of the bigger strains of walleye in the world.
18? All right.
With a resource that's so unique, this genetic strain can be found nowhere on the planet except for the New. The regulations are tight. Only 2 fish a day can be harvested per angler. And any fish between 19 and 28 inches has to go back into the water.
Put this one back.
See you later.
That protects the breeding population and guarantees these swimming beauties will be here for future generations to enjoy.
There we go.
There you go.
Nicely done.
Those fish are going to be running for another 2 to 3 weeks. After that, the window closes. More fishing. We had 2 local anglers fishing the highest levels of the pro bass ranks over the weekend. John Cruz of Salem was competing in the Bassmaster Elite Series down at Toledo Bend in Texas. John finished down the pack and out of the money. Now, he caught fish, just not the right fish. If you ever fished a tournament, you know that's just part of the game. Dave Dudley of Lynchburg was fishing on the Major League Fishing Trail on Sandy Cooper down in South Carolina. Dave finished 11th, good enough for a $10,000 payday. The next major hunting season is spring turkey. That starts in April. While that may seem like a long way off, it's not too early to be scouting areas and getting ready. We talked to expert turkey hunter Dallas Morris of Buchanan about that.
It's like with anything else, if you put the time in, it's going to pay off eventually. Checking cameras, making sure your gear is good, making sure everything, put on a few pounds and making sure your clothes are going to fit from last year.
One of the easiest things to do is pull out all of your gear and inspect each item, especially firearms and bows.
It's just one of those things like You can't just put it away and then pull it back out the next year and expect everything to be exactly. You need to check it, make sure your string's good, stabilizer, make sure nothing's happened to it.
While everything's out, it'll give you a chance to take inventory. You don't want to wait until opening day to figure out you're missing something.
You don't want to be that guy last minute trying to run in a Walmart and find some shells that you ain't ever shot in your gun. You never know what might step out, and it sure would suck to miss it.
Yeah, it would. Good advice, Dallas. You know, when it comes to wildlife, we're pretty blessed here in Virginia with all the various species we have in the wild, and we're doing a lot when it comes to conserving wildlife too. The most endangered wolf species on the planet is the red wolf. The Mill Mountain Zoo here in Roanoke is one of a handful of facilities around the country taking part in a program to help red wolves make a comeback. A few years back, Haley Henson took a look at how the zoo is doing that.
Every day, rain or snow, one of 6 zookeepers feeds the 9 endangered red wolves at Mill Mountain Zoo.
So dog kibble in here, we have some beef.
For Erica Josick, it's more than a job.
These red wolves mean the world to me. They are so important to my story. I love coming to work every single day and working with them and being a part of that conservation and making an impact.
An impact indeed. The Mill Mountain Zoo cares for 3% of the global population of red wolves, in addition to other endangered, vulnerable, and threatened animals.
Thanks, Haley. Through the years, the Mill Mountain Zoo's red wolf numbers have fluctuated, but the job remains critical. Only about 250 red wolves remain in zoos around the country, and only about 20 are still in the wild. That's something to think about. And to help you think, how about 30 seconds of solitude? A walk through a Bedford County forest. Hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it inspired you to get out and enjoy a local hiking trail. Speaking of hiking, it's time I hiked on out of here. Until next time, folks, I'm George Noleff of WFXR's Outdoors Bound. Good hunting and tight lines, y'all.
You build the mountains in your dreams. You lead the world so you can breathe. Whoa. You walk on fields inside your mind. You cross the oceans and the skies. Whoa. It's like you found a better way. Don't fight them all on what they say. Just turn around and walk away. But if you leave again, just take me there with you.